So as we work with a plant, we start drawing plant, adding branches to the plant, creating a little bit more complex ones, or working with nodes. Each of them, these nodes have a specific property, and as we're adding them, and you can see they kind of stacking together. A little bit below, you can see we have all this setup, wind, mesh, all these parameters, and they have multiple tabs. And problem is with when I look on some of them, I get confused. Even after some time, I need to remember what they all do, and it is a little bit overwhelmed first, but with time you kind of start understanding and see the pattern. So overall, right now, let's just go a very fast overview so you kind of know what is here, and we won't just go specifically over each of them. We'll do this later, so don't worry if some elements you kind of don't understand what they do. We'll look on this. So overall, you can see we have this panel, and we also have additional tabs with a setup properties that is provided for us global parameters for the plant. So in some cases, when we click right there, we'll go on setup, and you can see this is position for the root, rotation, angle. You always can change this if you need it. And you can see right here, as I'm moving, adjusting the plant move in our scenery, this is generic position for our plant. So in case if I want to create a grass or combinations, I may reposition some of them from the center. You can also using arrows up and down, or you can click in and just type values inside, which will in some case convert to the meters. So if I want centimeters, I want minus 0.20 and bring in. So by the hand also we have it our rotation and scale. Currently you can see it's unlocked scale, so proportions is unlocked, and we can scoot up, down, make it shorter. So all these additional properties of the scale. Notice you can also bake the sizes. We'll look on this a little bit later, but you can actually kind of constrain to the plant when you start exporting. So we also have options for the plant characteristics, random seed, all these additional options, also age and health. If you worked previously with a new plant from Plant Factory, you notice that some plants, they can actually change. You can apply a different type of the season. Okay, and so right here is example, some kind of steampunk tree I created some time ago. And we can look also right there. You can currently it does not have any age and health, but we can also in other version of this where the plant was from smaller, you can shrink everything and the kind of growing, increase in size. I think actually one of the good example I have it on Cornucopia, it's called money tree. It's where you change from coins and it's kind of money even grow on a tree, so you can do with age and health. Also properties here included gravity and a time of seasons, which is actually important when you enable automation. And inside the view, you can also tie it all together. So it's kind of work very well. If you have a winter type or summer or other ones, you don't need populate with different plants. You use it one plant, change time and season and age. And now you have all this flexibility from same species. So this is actually a very powerful tool in some ways to create it. Okay, next we also have the properties of the wind. Currently I disable wind on this, but you can enable, and the wind is also help. You can see right here, it's how they interact. If you remember inside the view, we have options when you render to have it wind, breeze, or other effect on the plants. So, and right here we can look and set all this influence, breeze based on different properties. For example, notice the roots does not move because they're from metal. However, we have more flexibility on those branches. And some of the leaves have less flexibility. So we can go actually inside and export in some applications that support the wind. Currently it's a Vue, Infinity Complex, or other ones. And this way we can have it all these properties. Also, I can go inside and, for example, make those branches a little bit more stiff and the leaves more flexible, so it will act a little bit differently. Let me disable animation. And this will work with the wind influence and all this additional properties. So how I say, don't get overwhelmed. We'll go over them and you'll get quite a bit familiar with all these properties. So next we have global bases, and currently this says on directional base. And this is basic. The base is a tendency of the plant to react in a certain way, like a base towards directions. For example, if you want climbing plant or other things, so you can want plant lean or go in another ones, and you can specify here. So currently just straightforward, we just select the base directions and go straight, but you can adjust all of these properties as well. So the type, how the tendency of the plant will react. Okay, next, it is a meshing. And meshing, it is a panel that contains polygon generations options for the plant. So this way we can specify how many polygons, because overall it still be 3D model with the polygons, but we can specify what kind we want. Triangle, quads, do we want how many details on each level? Remember, the more details, more polygons, the better quality, but it's take a longer render, bigger size. And also if we populate an ecosystem inside the view, you may have it too many polygons as well. So to create a good balance, we'll look on this as well in other tutorials when I go over meshing, but this will help us to select properly way we want to balance between quality and speed, how it's work. So in this tab you can define some presets for your plants. For example, if you ever got plants from the cornucopia, you can see some of them short grass, tall stem, maybe some other different properties. So right here I create a new preset based on reversed whatever parameters allowed to me. As well, if I create any published parameters, I can see them here and use it as well. So in this case, I can create a different presets for my plants, and it will be available for the future user. And one of the most useful for us, what we used all the time, it will be parameters. These parameters is change depend on what node you're selecting. So you can see right here, as we're selecting these nodes, some parameters change. For the our root parameter, it's a very basic because we have it in a setup. We have it like material parameter. If we're going more and different ones, you'll see we have a different types of the tabs open based on what type of the segment or node we selected. Inside, we have it more options. And we'll go on this in our next tutorial to look on a little bit more what we have in those segments. Again, this is just fast overview. Don't worry about if we don't stop or look on many of these properties. They will require additional tutorials. Just go inside and see what all of those parameters will do for